Welcome to the Viking Age podcast. It's the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. My name is Chris Schad. I write for Fansided and Zone Coverage. My co-host, you see him on the right, he is Adam Patrick, lead NFL editor for Fansided. And we do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We're also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. Adam, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very good. Not only because the Vikings schedule is out, but as you can see, I continue to howl aggressively. And that's exactly what I did, spending 2 hours on the internet just looking at straight memes all night after the Minnesota Timberwolves advanced to the Western Conference Finals. So I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Just yesterday was pretty hectic with all the schedule stuff, but we're good. And I think that was like the last, like significant thing of the NFL offseason. So I think now it's kind of, we'll have mini camps and stuff, and Jared Allen will get inducted in the Hall of Fame. But for now, it's kind of it'll be a little quieter until training camp starts in late July. Hopefully, no one gets arrested.
Let's talk about the Vikings 2025 schedule because we knew who and where we were playing them, but we didn't know when. Monday, September 8th. The season. Wait, do you want to pick preseason games or no?
No, I don't.
Okay. Neither do I. They open against the Houston Texans, by the way, and then nobody will give a shit for the final two games against the New England Patriots and at the Tennessee Titans, except for people on the back end of the roster.
It's going to be, well, who's their backup? It's going to be Sam Howell season in
yes,
preseason.
Sam Howell will get his time to shine there. Brett Rippin gonna rip it. The regular season opener, Monday, September 8th at the Chicago Bears, 7:15 Monday Night Football. And there was some interesting quotes that came out today.
Oh, yes.
In an ESPN report about Caleb Williams. And basically, long story short, he said, I don't want to go to the Bears. I want to go to the Vikings because Kevin O'Connell is there and he's really good at developing quarterbacks. And I don't know about this Matt Eberflus guy. And his family agreed with him. He wound up going to the Bears, and we saw what happened there.
The Bears agreed with him.
What's that?
The Bears agreed with him.
Yeah, the Bears even agreed. They're like, yeah, we screwed this up. Let's get you Ben Johnson. Let's get you some offensive linemen in here, and we'll try and make things work. You know, Caleb Williams, this kind of just popped in my head. Is this Trevor Lawrence all over again? Because Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be top quarterback prospect, and then he goes to Jacksonville. The Jaguars surround him with nothing. They give him Doug Peterson, like, hey, we screwed up with Urban Meyer. Okay. Let's
I was going to say he started with Urban Meyer.
Correct. Yeah, we gave you Urban Meyer to start with, and that didn't work. So we're going to go with Doug Peterson now, and that didn't work either. And now they're kind of scrambling and not really knowing what they're doing. Like, do you think Caleb Williams is the same thing? Or, like, do you think Ben Johnson's going to get something out of him?
I think he's going to be better with Ben Johnson. I think it's just Eberflus should have been fired like the year before, probably. So bring in Shane Waldron and the other, the people that didn't teach him how to watch film, which is insane. Like, he's your future quarterback, and you're just like, go figure it out. We're just an NFL team. You can figure it out. It's good. You're good. But no, I think they will be better with, at least the offense will be better with Ben Johnson, and then who's Dennis Allen's their defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Bears always have a good defense. Just seems to be the case all the time. So I don't know. There's a lot of hype surrounding the Bears, and I'm not going to get excited. I'm never going to get excited about the Bears, but like, I'm not going to believe into the hype until it's like actually going on. And I still think Caleb Williams can be good. I think if the Vikings had the choice between J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams at the time of the draft, they would have gone Caleb Williams because he was the top prospect on pretty much everyone's board. Maybe not some people's board. Might have had Jaden Daniels or somebody else. But I think the Vikings are happy with what they got. I think even after today, Bears fans are still like, well, I can't blame Caleb Williams because the Bears were a dumpster fire when he arrived, and who wants to join an organization that's like that? Even though that's pretty much every number one pick, you're looked at as, especially a quarterback, you're looked as like the savior. Even if you're like 21 or 22, you have to save this entire $1 billion franchise because we don't know how to run anything. So you, the young 20-year-old, you should be able to figure it all out. So I think they'll be better. I think they have a good chance of making the playoffs next season. But I still think the Vikings are overall a better team than the Bears. And we don't know also about Ben Johnson as a head coach. Like, being a play caller is one thing, but being a head coach is another, as we've seen with many people. Nathaniel Hackett just sticks out in my mind, and it was obvious immediately that he was not a head coach. So you just don't know when coaches make that transition from play caller to offensive coordinator, and then if he's calling plays still, like, he's still got to figure all that stuff out. So it'll be a work in progress. So I'm kind of glad that the Vikings get to play them in week 1 because they probably still won't have things kind of figured out. Like, they'll have a plan going into the game, but like when it comes to like in-game situations, I don't know if they'll have that kind of unlock what they want to do and stuff.
I think their motivation will be the highest coming into week 1. I think, Ben Johnson will have them fired up. And I mean, that I don't like going to Chicago with that excitement, with that hype, and everybody going to be all fired up about Caleb Williams year 2 and everything else. But I also think too that the Vikings are past this Soldier Field curse thing. Like, I think part of it was the Bears teams were really bad, so they went ahead and they won. But I mean, when was the last time they lost at Soldier Field? Was it 20?
I don't know.
Was it 2019?
Probably 21 or something.
Maybe even, was that the Chase Daniel or
2019 was the Diggs hissy fit.
Yes.
Thielen hissy fit game.
Let me look here. 2020 Minnesota Vikings.
As 2020 was Monday night because Thielen had that ridiculous one-handed catch.
Correct. And then Zimmer had that awkward like postseason thing where he's like, well, yeah, you guys really suck, but we won.
Zimmer? I never did that.
We gotta get better, guys. Okay, 2021, 2022, they won. Yeah. 2019 was less. So like they've won 5 straight games at Soldier Field.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and JJ McCarthy recently, or in interviews or something, like, he talked about how like he's actually more comfortable in like hostile environments. Like, it actually calming for him, which is amazing to hear about your franchise quarterback. To be like, oh, Lambeau Field, great, get as loud as you want because it's only going to make me more calm.
So win or loss here. Are you picking the Vikings to win?
Yes. I think if you want to be known as one of the best teams, I think the Vikings are trying to be one of the best teams in the NFL, regardless of who their quarterback is. So if you want to be one of the best teams, these are the games you got to win. They have a ton of time to prepare. They'll be probably as healthy as possible, or the healthiest they'll ever be in the season is probably week 1. So the only thing to think about is Christian Darrisaw might not be playing, and that could be a big factor. But I still think I'm curious to see how the Vikings approach this game with McCarthy and their run game, and then their defensive tackles and offensive line. So yeah, I think the Vikings will come out. They might fall behind early and get the momentum or whatever, like, not in their favor, but I think in the end they'll come out and get a win.
You talk me into it. I'll pick the Vikings here. I'll pick the Vikings for a win, which means they'll obviously lose and start the season 0-1. But
even if they do, like, that's fine. This is a game where you wouldn't be surprised if they lost too. So like,
yeah, and I don't think it would be at the end of the season if they lost either. Like, it would be disappointing, but
I mean, if it was week 18 and then they needed the proceeding, yeah, I'd be disappointed. But
yeah, there is that too. you talked about one quarterback being very calm and mellow when it's a raucous environment. We go to another quarterback who may not be playing, but he used to get very nervous in raucous environments because Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons are coming to town September 14th, prime time, Sunday night football. It's one of 6, or is it
7?
I'll just say 7 island games.
7 nationally televised.
Yes, the Vikings are back on the island of relevancy, as Roman Reigns would call it. They host the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Penix is going to be the starter there. Do you think they'll just cut to Kirk on the sideline in a cage? Like, let me out, guys. Let me out, guys.
Which
you
sideline
gotta save me.
Which sideline is he going to be on? Is he going to just be hanging out with Kevin O'Connell, like helping him out during the game, or
just nothing better?
Oh, sorry, guys. I forgot. I've been here so many years. I forgot which sideline to go on. Sorry.
Sipping his Gatorade, just casually talking like, how you been, Kevin? Hey, Kirk, I'm really busy right now. I'm outcomes and scenarios and outcomes here.
There's no way Kirk's playing in this game, right? Like it'd be way too early to like be out on Michael Penix unless like he got hurt.
Unless Penix got hurt, yeah. I mean, Michael Penix will be starting this game.
Which I'm interested in because like he had a couple moments last year. Like you're like, oh, okay, now I see why like they drafted him. But still, he's young and going into a night game in US Bank Stadium, home opener. That place is going to be insanely loud. So,
Digits says Kirk will be counting his stacks of money on the sidelines.
He'll be wiping his tears with dollar bills.
Banker hats. Do you think Kirk is going to be on the roster by then?
I don't know. Where could he? Will he go to the Saints? That's in division, so I don't know if because nobody wants to pay for him. That's
right.
Especially this, and the Saints aren't gonna do with the Falcons any favors by paying them money or anything.
The Falcons are gonna die.
Somebody would have to get hurt. Either somebody would have to get hurt, or Rodgers just be like, you know what? Actually, I'm not gonna play for the Steelers. You know how we got this all these narratives set up like week 1 Jets and Steelers. I'm just gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna play. I got personal things going on.
I'm gonna wait for let's see if JJ McCarthy kid's good, and if he's not, then mid-season I'll give my buddy Kevin O'Connell a call and see what happens.
So the Atlanta Falcons season opener, Sunday Night Football. Who you got?
Oh, Vikings, of course.
The Vikings. Adam's got 2-0. I'm gonna pick 2-0 as well. Vikings 2-0 after 2 weeks.
Is there anyone like Bijan? I know the Falcons added 2. Did they had 2 first-round pass rushers?
Yeah, they took who's the Georgia kid?
Pierce from Tennessee.
Yep, they traded up for him. Who's the other? Who's the other? Oh my God, Jalen Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Williams was in my mind, but he's also from Georgia. But
like the first Georgia player to be drafted in the first round by the Falcons since like 1960 or something.
So everybody was happy down there.
Yeah, go Dogs.
Got that dog in them.
Go Dogs.
Let's stick in the SEC because it's going to be an LSU reunion at US Bank Stadium in week 3. The Cincinnati Bengals come to town. A noon kickoff. Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. This is the first game on the schedule I'm going to be obviously I'm excited for the opener, but really excited about because I might go see Joe Burrow live because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The Bengals defense, that's another story because for whatever reason, they're not going to pay Trey Hendrickson. And
did you watch that? Did you watch his interview or whatever? His press, I guess, sideline presser or whatever?
I saw a clip because it was like 25 minutes long. And
I saw
Adam said she was going to go 60 minutes. And there was a really funny response to that, but I won't get into that.
It was very interesting. He was very like honest. I feel like we're like, I'm pissed. Like I feel disrespected and stuff, and I'm not going to play until I get paid. And like he was like, I want to stay here, but I'm not going to be an idiot and sign a cheap deal, or not sign a new deal.
So. I don't understand what the Bengals are doing. Like they're trying to play like Los Angeles Lakers basketball, where you have 3 stars and you have nobody around them.
Or old Clippers budget.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're like the Clippers. They're run by Donald Sterling, and they don't spend any money. And like, there's holes in the facility. They have to walk across the street, Final Destination style, to practice.
Do they have dinner every week, or did they add Wednesdays or something like that? Like,
Kirk would fit in perfectly there. Oh, you don't serve meals on Tuesday? That's okay. I'm not coming to the facility anyway. So. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
I'll bring my own lunch.
Yeah. Kirk definitely brown bags it.
Oh,
just just brings it in his little lunchbox.
This
hey guys,
there's gonna be so much grittying everywhere on the field this week.
Everybody just
gritties everywhere. Like, yeah, I bet you, JJ. We don't do write this down. Another podcast does, but I would do a write this down that JJ McCarthy will do a gritty during this game at some point,
and then he'll officially be a Viking.
Oh yeah,
yes. And I don't write the rules, but those are the rules. Cincinnati, week 3. You got a win or a loss?
I got to win because they have a great offense. The Bengals do, but like you mentioned, their defense is a sieve. So I feel like the Vikings are going to have a simple time of beating when it comes to beating the Bengals. It might be a high scoring game, but I think in the end the Vikings will come out with a win. So 3-0.
If the Bengals defense was better, I would pick the Bengals, but they haven't done much to improve that
Al
group.
Golden?
And
so
Al Golden's at Notre Dame. Or wait,
he's not. No, he's not. He's their defensive coordinator.
Did he leave Notre Dame?
Yeah, they hired him.
That shows you what I know.
Because they fired Lou Anarumo.
Oh yeah, okay.
So maybe they'll be better, but I don't know.
I run a football podcast. I actually cover the Browns.
It's hard to keep Bengals, but hard to keep track of assistant coaches.
Right.
Yes. That aren't even in your team's conference.
Yes. Plus, to be fair, my brain was mostly in college.
Who's the best player on the Bengals defense? Hendrickson, and he might not even play.
Yeah, he might not even play.
And Sam Hubbard retired, so yeah. I guess Cam Tyler-Britt's pretty good.
So you got 3-0. I got 3-0.
Oh boy.
And then we go across the pond, which a lot of people are freaking out about. They play week 4 at the Pittsburgh. See, here's the key word. It is at. Both of these are road games. Mm-hmm. The Vikings are going to be over there, and it's a puddle jump from Dublin to London.
Yep.
It's an hour-and-a-half flight. Like they could bust
it's
there.
It's a 30-minute flight.
It's a 30-minute flight?
30-minute flight. We have, Dean, who used to write
for Dean Jones. Yeah.
He's like, it's a 30-minute flight. It's not far.
So there you go. I mean, plus everything's already going to be there. Everything is already going to be set up and whatever. And the Browns are going to walk into a buzzsaw. So I don't know. I don't understand. I mean, the only thing that concerns me, and this is maybe just like Vikings fatalism or whatever, but the Vikings have to play on soccer surfaces 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And for a quarterback that is coming off a severe knee injury, the Vikings have seen severe injuries in London before.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Is the Soldier Field turf that much better than those fields over there?
This is true.
I would say no.
This is true. Yeah. So, maybe it's just football is football.
The thing I like about these games, we can probably just do both at once, is would you rather the Vikings go to Pittsburgh and try and beat the Steelers there? Or would you rather the Vikings go and play at a neutral field and try and beat the Steelers there? Because I think the answer is obvious.
And it might not even be a neutral field because Europe fucking loves the Vikings.
Right. Well, like Dublin's supposed to be like the hub of Pittsburgh or whatever. Like they have marketing like privileges or whatever in Ireland. So like maybe because I think the Rooneys are from Ireland or whatever, and he's like an ambassador. So maybe and Steelers fans travel well. So maybe it might be a little more even than we think. But still, it won't be a packed stadium full of Steelers fans. Yes.
Yeah, and it's not going to be a cold weather game in Pittsburgh, which that would have sucked as well.
Is it outdoors? Yeah, it's outdoors, right?
Yeah, it's an outdoors. I mean, it might rain, but whatever. I mean, that's fine. Neutral game and a little rain. Who cares?
But anyways, I have a win.
Yeah. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is the
Yes,
quarterback?
he will be there.
He will be. Yeah. I'm not afraid of him either. Like
No.
that would be the big revenge game, wouldn't it? Just like they didn't want him. They didn't want Aaron Rodgers. And here he is staring JJ throws like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, no one's going to be talking about that week. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So coming up next on Scoop City. That's mean, probably. The next week, the Cleveland Browns.
Who's their quarterback?
I bet you Dylan Gabriel wins it. I think Dylan Gabriel's what the Browns want, or at least that coaching staff, unless Jimmy Haslam comes downstairs and says, put Shedeur in.
I mean, I don't know if he's what they want because they picked him in the 3rd round,
but also what I think, he's very accurate. We've heard that with Kirk before. He can run an offense. I mean, like
he fits Kevin Stefanski's offense.
Yes, he checks a lot of the Kirk Cousins boxes. So, I mean, I think Dylan Gabriel's the quarterback, but I think
Flacco begins. Do you think Gabriel begins the season, or do you think Flacco starts? I think Flacco probably begins.
Flacco probably begins, but I think Gabriel takes over. So maybe that'll be a little earlier, but I don't know. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. The Vikings are winning that game.
Yeah. I mean,
so we both have the Vikings going 5-0. Sorry, that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason I picked the Bears when I went through this, because I'm like, there's no way. But I mean, they could.
They went 14-3 last year.
This is a better team, maybe outside of quarterback. This is a better team than last year.
Yep.
So, and I mean, you're playing the Bears, Bears gonna bear at the end of the day. You're playing the Falcons, who aren't good. You're playing the Bengals, who have a bad defense. Playing the Steelers, who aren't good, and maybe Mike Tomlin can get another 500 season. Oh boy!
Receiver.
What's that?
Who's the Steelers' second receiver?
Alan Lazard.
Well, yeah,
eventually. It will be.
Didn't they sign Allen Robinson? I feel like they did.
I think you're a couple years.
No, I think they did.
Yeah. You go ahead and look. I'll figure it out. Well, he looks up where Allen Robinson is playing these days. I want to tell you about Underdog Fantasy, because Underdog is one of the best places to make picks during playoff basketball. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can now play in your state. Their app has over 100,000 5-star reviews and millions of players. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. And you can choose from things like rebounds, points, and assists, and so much more. Once your picks feel good, you can play with as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. I've been playing Underdog for years. Adam has been a Underdog player as well. And this is one of the most exciting times of the year for me, because maybe you're watching I don't think I can mention team names, but maybe you didn't buy the Julius Randle hate and you went higher on his points and rebounds. Maybe you thought Jimmy Butler was a clown and playoff Jimmy only exists in the East, and you were like lower on points and rebounds. And hey, if you did both of those, you got paid last night. So I make the entry. I throw down a couple of bucks and boom, I get paid. You can get paid too. Download the Underdog app, sign up now with the promo code THEAGE, which is all one word, to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with the promo code THEAGE. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. You must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama or Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. If you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. And in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. All right, where did Allen Robinson play? Where is he playing?
I think he's a free agent now, actually. So I was wrong, but someone who's basically the same at this point in their career. Robert Woods is the number 2 receiver for the Steelers right now. It's followed by Scotty Miller and Roman Wilson.
Scotty
So,
Miller.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did forget that they got Caleb Johnson with a K as their running back.
He's good. I like Caleb Johnson a lot,
They're
especially they're going to use him a lot.
They're going to run him into the ground.
He's going to be, you get those like Dameon Pierce in Houston. Like he's one of those guys that they give it the ball to him like 250 times in his rookie year. And you're like, yeah, you won my fantasy football league. And like, he's out of the league in 3 years because they like just ground him into dust.
Yep. And I forgot to add Derek Harmon in the draft too. So they'll be all right. They'll be good. They'll make, they'll be, 10-7, 11-5, 9-8. We're right in the Mike Tomlin zone. Just enough to piss Steelers fans off.
DK Metcalf will be choking opposing corners backs out.
We don't have a corner that can like get under his skin, do we? I don't think we have one of those. Not yet. At least. I don't know how like Isaiah Rodgers is or Okuda, but I don't think we have any of those guys. Maybe Ivan Pace.
Him and Murphy went back and forth though when they played in Seattle.
I can see Ivan Pace getting in a little bit of a shoving match with Metcalf, even though Ivan Pace is like 5'6", but
he's giving up like 6 inches. And
yeah, he doesn't care.
DK Metcalf looks like a damn UFC fighter.
He's a giant.
Yes.
Receiver.
So we both have the Vikings at 5-0 coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
They come back home well rested against the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
Well, they got a bye. They got an extra week to prepare. I mean, most of that week they'll probably be trying to get back on their time clocks or whatever. But I'm gonna go with a win for the Vikings. I think being at home helps. I think the Eagles are going to experience a bit of a Super Bowl hangover this year. They lucked out with Saquon Barkley being healthy. If you look at the numbers of the running backs who touched the ball as much as he did in the past, the following season, they fall off a cliff. So I think the Eagles will still be good, but I think the Vikings will be able to beat the Eagles at home. If it was in Philadelphia, I'd probably feel different, but in US Bank Stadium with a week off to prepare, I think the Vikings can win this game for sure.
I think the week to prepare is big for me, especially going up against a physical team like the Eagles.
Yep.
I see the Vikings, and I think the other thing too, people haven't said this a lot. They lost a lot in free agency.
Yep.
I mean, they kept Zach Bond, who exploded in his first year with the Eagles, but you lose Mekhi Becton, so you got to question at right guard. You lose Josh Sweat, who was on the edge. Yep. So you're hoping Jalix Hunt can fill that.
Milton
Williams on the end. And I don't know how he's going to do playing more snaps in New England, but he's still a damn good player, and you have to replace him. And Moro Ojomo, good luck. So
yeah,
I think those are three. And I mean, you still have Jalen Hurts, you still have AJ Brown, but I mean, that team, I still don't know how they won the Super Bowl because they got the chemistry of a high school like science experiment. They could explode at
wasn't Sirianni on the hot seat going last year?
Yeah.
And then they won.
And then they won 16 out of 17 games.
Even though I'm pretty sure they've made the playoffs every year he's been the coach.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't do himself any like if Kevin O'Connell was in that same situation, be like, well, it's Kevin O'Connell. He's very even keel or whatever.
Like arguing
he's like in
fans.
he's like RKOing fans. He's like bringing his kid as a human shield. Like he's the perfect coach for Philadelphia. The biggest scumbag you can think of. That dude looks like he goes to Quick Trip and just smokes like menthols on the in front of the store.
Whoa. Wawa. They don't go to Quick
Wawa.
Trip.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, it's the Quick Trip of the East. That's what they call Wawa.
Yeah.
Just eating their meatball subs, smoking his
meatball hoagies.
Oh man. I'm gonna go with the win too.
Philadelphia is just funny because it's like it's where like the Declaration of Independence was made and like all this like prestige of the country, and then it's like
it's just an armpit.
Philly fans, which are wonderful.
Anthony Edwards made 2 conference finals before Joel Embiid. I just want to get that in.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Week 8, short week, Thursday night football.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh against JJ McCarthy.
This is it. Is my first loss.
This is the loss. I agree with you here because that's just not the team I want to play on a short week.
No, and not somebody
they're
who
going to
knows
beat the hell out of you, especially after playing Philadelphia the week before, because they're going to beat the shit out of you.
And Harbaugh knows McCarthy. He knows what he's good at and what he's not. And he's the type of coach that will like come up with a game plan that is just so out of the box just to get a win. Where like he's like, oh, 7-0 Vikings or 6-0 Vikings are coming into town. Let's just run the ball 50 times and see if they can stop us. So, yeah, I think this is a loss. Although there will be a lot of Vikings fans there for sure.
Yeah, they will make the trip, but I mean, it's exactly like last year's schedule where you have the international game, then you have the bye, you come home and you face a tough opponent. Then you go and you face, then you go to LA and which
I'd say the Rams are better than Chargers.
I would say so, yes. But I don't know. Jim Harbaugh I love Jim Harbaugh as a coach, actually, not as like a ethics guy.
People were like, oh, I'm so happy we got Kevin O'Connell instead of Jim Harbaugh. I probably wouldn't have minded Jim Harbaugh at all. I definitely wouldn't. Everyone was pumped that he was going to be that coach.
Do you think the Vikings would be in the same spot they are now with Jim Harbaugh?
What year is this? 4?
This will be year 4 for Kevin O'Connell,
I don't know, because I think he would have wanted to get rid of Kirk Cousins. I think that might have been one of the reasons why they didn't want to bring him in.
So then he would have wanted to get his own quarterback in 2022, and that draft was
that Kenny Pickett?
That was the Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis. Yeah. And then 2023, there weren't any quarterbacks either. So you have Will Levis.
He would have been like, I got this kid McCarthy. I'll just wait for him.
Yeah.
So McCarthy might still.
But he never would have coached him. He never would have coached JJ McCarthy.
That's true.
So he never would have known.
He probably would have transferred. He wanted to go to Ohio State, right? But they signed. Did they sign Will Howard or no? They signed Kyle McCord instead of JJ McCarthy.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Kyle McCord, elite Syracuse quarterback.
Yep. Record breaker.
Did McCord, was he the first Syracuse QB drafted since McNabb?
No.
Others.
Who's Carl Nassib's brother? Ryan Nassib.
I remember him.
Yep.
Yeah. He was a big prospect and then he kind of fell off. So, okay. Random thoughts aside, after going to the Chargers, you wrote about this a little bit at the Viking Age. Week 9 at the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Noon kickoff, Ford Field. JJ McCarthy goes back to Michigan. Dan Campbell chugging 2 black eyes on the sideline. Well, how are we feeling about Vikings Lions round 1?
I did write about how the Vikings got screwed with this because the Lions have a bye week before this game, which great, good for them. But the Vikings also have a mini bye. So they don't have a full 7 days extra to prepare, but they do have like an extra 3 or 4 days. So that'll help. And then I just don't think the Lions are going to be as good as they were last year. I don't believe in Jared Goff without Ben Johnson. That defense wasn't even really that good with Aaron Glenn. So I think the Vikings are going to win this game. I think, and JJ McCarthy, this is his homecoming or whatever. He's going to be pumped. He's going to want to quiet everybody and prove them wrong. So win, and the Vikings are probably going to be mad about losing to the Chargers. So
I saw something by John Morton, who is the new Lions offensive coordinator, and he's just like, I'm not changing anything. And it's kind of like, all right, yeah, that never seems to work. I mean,
you can run the same plays, but you don't know how to call them in the right spots.
I will believe in Detroit until they give me reason not to. I think Dan Campbell, like in college football 25, you have like the archetypes, like One of them's like strategist and one of them's like recruiter. Dan Campbell's a motivator. He's like all the way through the web, through the roof.
He's a perfect college coach.
Oh my God. If he went to like college, he would probably be my favorite college coach, honestly. Like just that's what I love about college. Every coach is just absolutely unhinged. Like people are like, what's wrong with PJ Fleck? He's a college football coach. Yeah. That's what's wrong with him. Like they're all insane.
You have to be a psycho narcissist.
Yes. Like you need that to succeed. Like if you're not a psycho narcissist, you're going to get eaten alive by somebody from the SEC. I'm going to pick the Lions here. I'm going to be pessimistic. I'm going to be the bad guy, but I think the Lions, I mean, they still have a lot of their players left. And I mean, if the coaching staff can keep them playing at a high level, they're going to win. At least in Detroit, I will pick the Lions. Maybe tip my other one, but I have my reasons for that later. After that, they come home November 9th, week 10. They host Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. That is just an ass kicker stretch. Like Philly, Chargers, Lions, Ravens, like meat and potatoes, bring a lunch pail. Let's go.
But two of those two, you could argue the two hardest teams on that slate you get to play them at home.
The Eagles and the Ravens?
Yeah. So
sure.
That helps significantly. What do I have? I actually have like all these not written down. Oh, I had the Ravens because they have a mini bye the week before. So they have extra time to prepare for this game. They are playing the Dolphins on Thursday night in Miami. So I think they'll be okay. So yeah, I got the Ravens in this one. This is one where it's like you don't want to lose it, but it's to an AFC team. It's not really going to affect your playoff seeding really that much. So like if you're going to lose a game, losing to the Ravens isn't terrible. So that's what I have.
I got to look up the exact record here, and maybe I may not be able to find it. But Lamar Jackson,
against NFC teams, he's never lost, I don't think, right?
I was wondering if it was just at home or if it was never.
I don't think so.
Let's see here. NFC. Oh, I have 2024 pulled up. I mean, every time there's an NFC team, they're like, oh yeah, he's never. Yep, here we go. He is 24-4 all time against NFC teams. Completion rating 65%, 5,590 yards. That equates to, do they have yards? 199.6 yards per game, 48 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
Yeah, because they just there's no Lamar Jackson in the NFC. So like no one's used to playing him, which also I would say the Ravens win because the Vikings historically, not that this really matters, but historically are terrible at at playing against like mobile quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson. See Michael Vick. See RG3 in that crazy rookie season where he went off, Jalen Hurts, like they are not good when it comes to stopping mobile quarterbacks. Colin Kaepernick, that one Monday night game where he just went off, like they're just not good at it. But we'll see how it goes.
So I have the Vikings going 6-0 and losing 3 straight.
Oh,
I'm so negative.
Am
I even a real? I may possibly be a Vikings fan.
Well, I don't know. Is the season going to be over?
Season might be over at that point. We might have to. Should have called it. Can you still call Aaron Rodgers to save the season at this point? That'll be the talker right now.
Oh,
at least in my reality.
Did the Vikings make it to Stephen A? Did the Vikings make a mistake by not signing Aaron Rodgers?
Slava Medvedenko, you talk about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers got to be there. He got to play with LeBron, okay? Got to play with LeBron.
They will find a way to make it about LeBron because that seems to be what they do about everything now.
Yes, they will find. Although this morning they did say, will the Timberwolves win the NBA title? And I was like, whoa, here we go.
Would the Timberwolves, be an automatic NBA title win if they had LeBron?
If they had LeBron James. The holy LeBron James. So you had the Ravens.
He's not coming to Minnesota. There's no way.
No,
he's not going to Minnesota. He's not going from LA. He's not going from LA to Minnesota. I'm sorry, guys.
No. So by the way, you had a Ravens loss, right?
I have a Ravens beating the Vikings.
Yes. Okay. That's what I meant.
I've got them at what?
7-2.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping my scorecard here because like I started adding it. I'm like, I don't think this is right. So I have them 6-3. You have them at 7-2. They go or they don't go anywhere. They stay home the following week. Chicago Bears. This is a win. I think the Bears will be a little beat up. I think Ben Johnson will be revealed to be a fraud at this point, or at least not as hyped as people think. I'm not sold on him. I'm sorry.
No, there's no reason to be.
There's so much, like you mentioned it before, there's so much shit you have to control when you're a head coach compared to a coordinator. Yeah. And like, it's going to hit him like.
That has like nothing to do with football too.
Right. Yeah. Like it's, okay. I'm embarrassed to admit I watched this, but like it was during the pandemic, but like Cody Rhodes had like that Rhodes to the Top documentary. Yeah. And like, he was a EVP and like people were like, I think Lee Johnson and Julia Hart came up to him like, just so you know, we're dating. And he's like, okay. And he just like walked away. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, that's the type of shit Ben Johnson has
Bears,
to deal with.
Like the Bears,
yeah,
you know, they're a normal organization. Nothing ever weird happens with the Bears. So what could go wrong?
Yeah, I think by this point of the season, things aren't going the way Chicago wants them to. And I think the Vikings take advantage for a win at home.
Yep.
So win as well.
Yep.
All right. We keep rolling on. The first meeting, Sunday, November 23rd, the Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
A little chill in the air.
Have it as a loss.
As a loss.
Yeah. I think the Packers are good. I hate to admit it, but I think I don't know who their number one receiver is or which one will be the number one receiver that week, but I think they're going to Karen LaFleur is going to get a win over the Vikings this week.
This was kind of my hot take of the episode.
Oh boy.
The Packers are going to finish last in the NFC North because they're crashing out.
Oh boy.
They have so much drama going on right now because the whole receiver thing. Oh, yeah. Josh Jacobs started it before, I think it was during Super Bowl week.
Yep.
And then all the receivers are like, what do you mean you don't have an alpha over here? Well, you're Jaden Reed and you only have 800 yards receiving, but that's a problem. Also, you all have Elgton Jenkins. I mean, they overpaid 2 free agents in Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks. So good luck filling those holes. Elgton Jenkins, he wants to move to center, but he wants a new contract because he has no money, and they don't want to give him a new contract because of what if he sucks at center, and they just gave Aaron Banks a ton of money. Jair Alexander's still on the roster, and I guess still talking to them. So even if he does play, he'll play like 4 games, and it won't be against the Vikings. And oh, by the way, the guy that's leading the team is the most explosive powder keg west of Philadelphia. It is literally Frank the Tank from Old School leading that team. Like, we have to keep our composure. We can't not freak it out. Yeah, keep our composure.
He's like, well, he's already pissed at Ben Johnson. You saw that, right?
Yeah. He's already freaking out at Ben. Like, who cares, dude? The guy is literally talking to the audience in front of him like, I'm going to beat Matt LaFleur. And like, what do you mean you're going to beat me? Nobody beats me. I'm Matt LaFleur. I'm going to call your manager right now.
Like Dan Campbell said he's going to bite people's kneecaps off, and LaFleur didn't care about that.
Everybody was just like, all right, dude, yeah. Have another black eye.
But the thing is, I think even if the Packers suck, like, it doesn't matter for this game. Like, it's still.
I'm picking the Vikings.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm picking the Vikings. The Packers are crashing out this year.
I'm just saying, like.
There's the social clip. Put it online. The Packers are crashing out.
Okay. We'll clip it. When the Vikings would ever go to the Bears, like before they figured out how to play Soldier Field, it would always be like, well, Bears could be like 2-9, and the Vikings would still find a way to lose. That's how I feel like going to Lambeau Field, where like I don't think it really matters unless like Jordan Love's hurt or something like that. But even if they are crashing out, I feel like everyone knows to get up for the Vikings game. It's a big rivalry, so. I just see like a little stumble here. I don't think it'll be like a blowout or anything, but I think like it could be like a game where maybe JJ McCarthy takes like a step back or something, throws a couple of picks. But
how the turntables have turned. We're both 8-3, and we're going.
Oh wow!
Big revenge game.
Look at that.
Sam Darnold in Seattle. McCarthy against Darnold. You kind of mentioned it too. It's kind of surprising this isn't a national TV game, but it could get flexed. I mean, it's that
Can it?
point of the year.
Already? Was it week?
November 30th.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on week 13.
All right. Yeah, it's a late afternoon. Who's the Monday night game that week?
Who's
Patriots
the Sunday night game?
Patriots and Giants.
Is that Sunday or Monday?
No. Sunday night is Commanders Broncos. They're not going to switch that unless someone gets hurt. I think it's Commanders Broncos. I think so, yeah. And then, but Monday night is Patriots Giants. So that could be one where they get flexed to Monday, maybe. Can they do that?
Why would they put that as a national TV
Giants and Patriots? Because of the
what is their thought
It's because
process?
of the fan bases. The Giants have a huge fan base. Patriots have like young quarterbacks, Brian Dable, all that fun stuff. So
come watch Jackson Dart take on Drake. I mean, Drake May is kind of interesting, but
yeah, Mike Vrabel.
Patriots,
they'll be better.
Yeah, the Patriots should be better under Mike Vrabel. Now I think about it.
I mean,
they spent enough; they better be better. But
I think they'll be second in that division next year. There's no way Sam Darnold's beating the Vikings next year, so the Vikings are going to win this game. Kevin O'Connell is not going to let the Vikings lose to the quarterback he just let go. There is no way.
And the quote
he will bring out all the trick plays to make sure this doesn't happen.
And I think too, I can't remember if it was Phil Mackey or Matthew Collar who said it, but Kevin O'Connell knows where the skeletons are buried when it comes to Sam Darnold. So I see that being a win for the Vikings too, even in Seattle where it's action green and very, very loud.
But they played well last year. Was it their first win in Seattle since 2006? I think they got last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a different Seattle with Pete Carroll not there for sure.
And they're kind of rebuilding, so like this could kind of fall apart on them.
They got Milroe, right? Yeah, that's what they got.
Jalen Milroe behind him, and then they also have.
Is Milroe playing in this game?
That's a good question. Maybe some people were very high on Jalen Milroe, but coached by South Dakota coaching legend Kalen DeBoer, who might get fired if he doesn't make the college football playoff again.
At Alabama.
Yeah, I shouldn't laugh.
I mean,
a lot of people like him over here, and I've heard some good stories about him. But
you go to Alabama,
it's just ridiculous. Like, oh, you missed the playoff 2 years, you're fired. I won 9 games. I'll see ya.
National championship or bust over there.
Like Bo Pelini was at Nebraska, and he won 9 games and got fired.
Yeah, I remember that.
But he was like a hothead too, and people.
But that was
like
after him. Who was their longtime coach? Osborne.
I think Bill Callahan was between them, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah, and then they hired Pelini. He turned it around, and they're like, "You're an asshole. See ya." But we will accept you as an asshole if you win national championships, but you're an asshole and won 9 games. It's so funny,
like kids. I say kids because I'm 37, but like people born after 2000 have probably no idea that Nebraska used to be like this college football powerhouse.
If you are young, go online and I think it's like a Sports Illustrated Christmas issue, and it's like the Nebraska offensive line, and it's just 5 dudes who don't have a neck. Like they're just like big, just huge.
They used to be in they won a bunch of national championships. Like what? Eric Crouch.
Yeah.
Scott Frost.
Yeah. Some dude named Tommy. I can't think of his
name. Did Lawrence Phillips go there? Did he go there?
I want to say so, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Nebraska was a house.
But yeah.
Not a good guy, no. Hell of a running back, but not a good guy. Let's stay on the task here. We got a couple more games. Okay. December 7th, Washington Commanders, noon, US Bank Stadium. That's a win for me.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was quick.
I like Jaden Daniels, but I don't know. Washington seemed kind of fluky last year. So where the Lions have some equity built up, I'm like, I need to see the Lions be bad to think they're bad. I need to see the Commanders be good to think they're good again.
Yeah. No, I think there was a lot of games. They had a lot of close games last year that could have gone either way. So I think the expectations will be on this year, and people are going to be more geared on stopping Jaden Daniels, and sometimes a little bit of a sophomore slump. So I could see that. And then they traded for Ayuk, right?
Debo Samuel.
Oh yeah, that's right. I confused them. Because Ayuk wanted to go to Washington. Probably wishes he did, but I don't think Debo's going to be.
Both
I don't think
sides
Debo's
are just idiots with the Ayuk thing.
I don't think. Yeah.
I don't like you guys, but there's a lot of money here, so I'm going to sign it. Well, we don't like you, but here's a lot of money. Like, what are you guys doing? Just like
It's Kyle Shanahan.
A baby won't save the marriage. I'm sorry.
Right? So we both have wins.
So we both have wins there. Okay. So you have the Vikings. We both have the Vikings at 10-3 right now. We're back on track.
Okay.
Sunday, December 14th, another primetime game down to Jerry World. Who gonna stop them? Dallas Cowboys. That's a W.
I have it as a loss.
You have it as a lot.
Cowboys
so negative.
Cowboys have a mini bye.
Mini bye.
They played the Lions the week before.
Is that the third team that's had like a mini bye or a bye week before playing us?
Yeah.
Wow. NFL hates
I think
us.
I picked the loss every time. No, I picked the win against the Lions. But sometimes you just have those hiccups, and I think the Cowboys are going to be better than they were last year. I actually think they might kind of be better with Schottenheimer. It's weird. I don't know why, but like everyone's kind of just the coaches that usually get laughed at. Like you think about Sirianni, like everyone thought he was a joke when he first got hired by the Eagles, and now he just won the Super Bowl. So, and the Cowboys have they've made a lot of good moves this offseason. They just traded for Pickens, and they got a bunch of other good players. They had a good draft, so I think this will be a win for the Cowboys, not for the Vikings. No Zimmer there. If Zimmer was still there, I think it'd be a win for the Vikings, but he's long gone.
That'll be an interesting new team to follow. I'm picking the Vikings. I just have no faith in what Jerry Jones is doing down there. So that is my call. The next week they go to the New York Giants. I think everybody's going to be fired by the time they get down there.
Yeah,
they'll be trotting out Jackson Dart, and
this is going to be a don't get hurt game. Please don't get hurt.
Keep everybody off that turf.
On that terrible MetLife turf. Please don't get hurt.
Please don't die. That is the operandum of that Giants game. The following week, it's a Christmas one. TJ Hawkinson's probably got PTSD about this, but the Vikings will be on the Netflix doubleheader, 3:30 Christmas Day, Detroit Lions. Why would you watch Lakers and Celtics when you can watch Dan Campbell and Kevin O'Connell go at it, man?
Kind of a dick move by the NFL to do that, though.
But the NFL, I mean, how much money are they getting?
They don't care, yeah.
They are the Dumb and Dumber meme, wiping away the dollar bills or tears with their dollar bills.
NBA's look at our lottery.
That's an IOU, man. That's better than cash. Sorry, it just popped into my head.
This is going to be the winner whiteout game, right? You think?
It has to be, right? Yeah. Because your other option is the Commanders, which or you do it week 18 against Packers, but that game might not matter.
Right. And it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Which kind of makes me worry because it's at home and Vikings fans not known for showing up around the holidays. Usually a lot of people getting tickets for Christmas and being like, oh yeah, let's go have a blast.
Let's bring
my first ever Vikings game.
Grandpa Joe. Let's bring Grandpa Joe and have him go to the Vikings game.
We need the diehards.
We need like me to walk in there. So my mom texted me right away. She goes, family time. I'm like, I'm going to the game.
Yeah. I'll actually probably get to. I don't know if I'll get to watch it because it's also my son's birthday on Christmas, so that's a very busy day. So I might watch this game on delay or something. I don't know. Probably not. I'll have it on my phone, but I have it as a win.
Got it as a win. The Vikings have not lost in their winter whiteout jerseys. Plus, I don't know. I feel like
yes, they have. They lost to the Lions. Oh well.
In the winter whiteout jerseys, though.
What 1-0?
That's the joke.
Okay.
But yes, they beat the Giants. They lost to the Lions since they've been doing the whiteout game. Yeah. I think the Vikings win that game. I think. I don't know. I think both teams are even, and I think it'll be a split this year. I think the Vikings will get the best of Dan Campbell, and this could be for the division, especially
is the entire offense injured this year for the Lions instead of the entire defense for this meeting?
Could happen.
Is Hendon Hooker playing in this game?
Hendon Hooker on 2 bad leg. He might be cut for Kyle Allen at the end of training camp.
Oh no.
It's like Tyler Shuck.
Remember when
26 in
Hendon Hooker
September.
was it Tannenbaum was he the one who had him in the first round? I don't know. A lot of
Daniel
people.
Jeremiah had him in the first round. I know that much. Like it was Vikings are taking Hendon Hooker, baby. And
I like Jeremiah, which is sad because
sure.
he does.
Well, I mean, and it's hard too. Like the college football with the COVID years, it's like everybody's like 24 right now.
That was really hard.
Yeah. Like the Vikings have done a good job taking guys who are actually like young.
Yeah.
Like JJ McCarthy's turns 22 and I think he just turned 22. Yeah. Like Dallas Turner too, super young. So I have I have the Vikings beating the Lions. And then week 18, you already have my opinion on the Packers. I think they'll be 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
Does this game
at
even
this
matter?
Point.
For the Vikings maybe to get seeding?
Yes. Well, I don't know. So I have the Vikings entering this game at 13-3. So maybe they're going for the number 1 seed at this point.
They have them at 12-4, I think.
Yeah, and you have them at 12-4. But I think it's a win for the Vikings. I think they go 14-3 again.
They have a mini bye.
They have a mini bye now. Oh yeah, the Vikings have the mini. They have the hammer.
Yeah.
They're gonna smack Matt
Which
LaFleur
is so
with
they get a mini
bye
before the season finale. I don't even think has that ever happened before? I guess it happened for the Christmas teams last year. But.
Yeah. But they also had to play like the
Wednesday?
Christmas teams had to play like
because there's a Wednesday or something.
So this isn't bad. It's only a Thursday game.
No.
So I mean they have a plan in place for
Next
that.
year will be what, Friday? Probably.
Yeah, they had to play Sunday, Saturday. They like gradually.
Yeah, what are they going to do when it's like a Tuesday?
Play a Tuesday?
Just have.
But it would just be part of the previous week, kind of like they did with COVID.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, all right, I have the Vikings with a 14-3 record. You have them with a 13-4 record.
Wow, I did not see that coming after.
So negative.
6-3 start.
Well, and also too, I said you talked me into the Bears thing. So really, we're in the same wavelength. 13-4. Yeah. I mean, 13-4 probably wins you in the NFC North.
I would,
or it gets you in the mix.
Yeah.
And especially with this tough schedule. And I mean, there's a couple of swing games. I mean, you could beat the Ravens at home. You could beat, who else did I say they would lose to? Really I think the beginning of the year is kind of a good stretch for them. You could lose to the Bengals at home. That's another swing game. Yeah. But I mean, the first 5 weeks, there's some tough tests there and some primetime tests. But I mean, you go into there, if you get off to a good start, then you have that middle part. In the end, you could probably cruise to the finish line until you face Detroit.
The end of their schedule is definitely a lot easier than the first half, for sure.
Indeed.
But those, I think if it was at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland in their real stadiums, I think we'd feel probably a lot different about their chances. Maybe not Cleveland, but definitely at Pittsburgh, for sure.
So I know we're at an hour already, but technically
we had that 5 minutes.
I was about to say I talked 5 minutes of silence.
Quiet time.
My intent was just to make everybody just stare at the schedule and
I didn't know. I thought you just left. I was like, and then you took me off too, and I was like, so I guess we're just gonna sit here.
We're just going to.
I thought you pressed the wrong button because you were doing like the thing before of like switching the screens before we recorded, and I was like, you pressed the wrong button.
Yeah. Well, I did press the wrong button. It just I thought it was the right button, and it was not the right button. I don't know. I mean, just look. The only thought that I had about this schedule, and I guess I'll just take this out as my final take. Like I said it before, this is the island of relevancy. The Vikings have returned to it after being in Pittsburgh Steelers land, where you're 9-8 every year, and you have no shot of winning a Super Bowl. The Vikings are an interesting team again. Yep. They have a quarterback that people want to know if he's good. They have a team with, Justin Jefferson is a very likable superstar. Yep. They have other likable players on this team right now, as we kind of saw at the end of last year. I think this team, the biggest challenge for this team is going to be to stay on that island. The Lions did it a couple years ago where they had all the primetime games. We're like, well, maybe the Lions will regress. They go to the NFC Championship. They get the number 1 seed the following year. The Vikings need to follow in the Lions' footsteps. And if they do that, they're going to be their Super Bowl caliber team. I will put it that way. If they don't, you fall back down. But I mean, this is exciting. This is fun. I like having the early morning games and the Christmas game and everything else. Like, well, yeah, I mean, I understand people who write about it.
No,
yeah,
6:30 for me.
Yeah, that is terrible. I didn't think about that. I mean, 8:30 in the Midwest, it's like, all right, open up the bar early, get yourself a bloody, and let's go.
That's why I like 10 o'clock games, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny you just said the Vikings need to be more like the Lions if they want to make the Super Bowl, which is a sentence you probably would have never thought you would say like 3 years ago.
But am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Matt Conner the other day, who runs the Chiefs site for us, Arrowhead Addict, and he was saying, or yesterday, yeah, he was saying how like Chiefs fans, like, they don't really care about the schedule because they know like the expectations are like, get to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter who you play. We got to get to the Super Bowl. And I kind of feel that way for the Vikings, where it's like, yeah, this game looks tough or whatever, but if they're going to be the team that they want to be and be a championship contender, then they're going to have to win these games and play tough teams. Like, it's what's going to have to happen. And it can't be like, oh, they're getting screwed. They have to play the Lions and they have to go they have to be overseas for 2 weeks. What are they going to do?
JJ McCarthy has to play at Soldier Field, and like we never win at Soldier Field, even though we haven't lost there since the turn of the decade, and we're just going to be the Bears or the Lions.
He's a rookie. He's basically a rookie.
They should just call Aaron Rodgers. I can't handle it. I mean, it's okay. I'll sell my soul for a Super Bowl.
So like, get that old Vikings mentality out of here. This is the Kevin O'Connell era. I know he hasn't won a playoff game yet, but you got to feel good about the Vikings going into this year. They did a lot of good things the offseason. Even the draft, like, people rag on Kwesi. If Donovan Jackson is the only thing to come out of that draft, who cares? That's a good draft. So they had a very good offseason, and now it's just like, don't get hurt and don't get it rested season. So, which is not a guarantee.
Yeah, not a guarantee at all. Jordan Addison was at the game last night, though.
I hope he took an Uber.
Yeah. Just friendly reminder, Jordan.
He's got like a jury trial coming up, and I'm like, a jury trial? What?
That's intense.
And the evidence is pretty obvious.
Pretty damning. Yeah. How do you know I was drinking? Well, you were passed out in the middle of the road at the wheel
on an off ramp.
Yeah, we kind of got concerned there.
Door open.
Yeah. So you have no proof.
Yeah, right. I was taking a nap.
I have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't make fun of that.
Wouldn't that be narcolepsy?
Narcolepsy, yes. I'm sorry. Jerry Kill had epilepsy.
Your epilepsies.
Yes. I apologize for that one. No, the only thing I was going to add is, the regular season is kind of like the Wild. People make fun of me because, like, I don't get excited when we beat the Buffalo Sabres at home on a Sunday night. Like,
Sabres suck.
No, I want to see you win Game 3 or Game 4 when you're up 2-1 in the series.
Look at the Timberwolves. Okay, look at
Also, did you see the Chargers schedule release video?
You showed me the flag for the Wild, right?
Yeah, and they had 8 straight quarterfinal runner-ups, or whatever it was. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So like,
then the Colts one got in trouble, but yes.
Which people were like, they took it down for the Tyreek thing, and I was like, there was a lot more than the Tyreek thing. I don't know if you saw, but like they had like Mahomes' dad fighting John Rocker in it.
See, I saw the Tyreek thing, and I was just like, I don't think that's that bad.
No.
And I didn't watch the whole thing thinking
they did a lot more. They ran over Will Levis with a car. I'll send it to you. It's on the internet, so it's forever. But
yes.
And then the Colts got like in trouble because they didn't get permission from like Microsoft to make a Minecraft thing, where like the Chargers did, because it's a Microsoft product or whatever.
Yeah.
So they just made it without asking them, which is stupid. Since you're a corporation pretty much when you're an NFL team, and you need to ask for permission to do that. So yeah, somebody got fired today.
Somebody got fired today. That's the That's a model we should all
which sucks
buy.
because yesterday is like the Super Bowl for social media managers in the
Yeah.
NFL.
It's like, and they probably were like, dude, this is awesome. Let's put it
Yeah.
out there. And then they got in deep shit.
Ursay was like, "Yeah, this is great," and then was like,
hey, yeah, just
all
put
right,
it out there.
Okay. Now we're off the rails.
See, now if you were like doing the Colts, if we were in the opposite end, you just have some.
Yeah. Right? They should have John Randall do their scheduling video.
Yeah, they did the tattoo. Like they gave away free tattoos today.
I know. I'm gonna get one of the tattoos that's from their video because it looks like my cat, and it has a Vikings hat on the top of the head. So I was like, I'm gonna get that. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I'm not a tattoo guy because I'm fat and I don't think it would look good. And also too, like,
have you seen Jelly Roll?
Jelly Roll was high when he did that.
Which one? Yeah. He's got a lot.
A lot of things were happening when he got those. Very quickly, what's going on at the Viking Age, Adam?
Well, schedule's over. So now what do we got? OTAs, we got minicamp, mandatory minicamp coming up. So it'll be a lot of listening to boring press conferences and reacting to those, but we'll also be keeping an eye on. We'll have more time to keep an eye on what the Lions are doing, what the Bears are doing, what Caleb Williams' dad is saying about not wanting to play for the Bears, what Matt LaFleur is complaining about. So there'll be a good mixture, I think, over the next few weeks of more than just the Vikings. Then we'll be keeping an eye on Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. Like there's still a lot to talk about, but then of course it'll slow down in June and we'll all go away, and then we'll come back in late July and get ready for training camp. It'll be here before we know it.
Can't wait. I also write for the Fansided Regional Betting Network. I write articles about the Lions, Packers, and Bears.
Dark side.
Yeah, I know. I might actually be a Vikings fan too if you've read it on another site. The hours upon hours upon hours of me trashing the Packers and probably the social media clip that's going to hit. Right. I would put more stock in those over anything that would write for that audience because I'm double agent. So
you know what you're talking about.
I do. And I mean, the article that was in question wasn't even like a Vikings suck. They're bad. What are they doing? No, I just said, hey, this could be a bad thing about Dallas Turner because they extended Andrew Van Ginkel and it got turned into, look at this guy. I gotcha.
Vikings fans had the same reaction. Like a bunch of them had the same reaction. They were like, oh, shoot, does this mean Dallas Turner's not good?
And if I'm a Packer fan, I look at that and I think that. Like, oh, shit, they whiffed on that pick and they gave up a bunch of draft capital. So I personally think that they whiffed? No.
You can't go full PA and just live through life with purple-colored glasses the whole time.
Correct.
You gotta see it from all angles.
And that's what I do. I go throughout the NFC North because I write Viking stuff too at Zone Coverage. I'm probably going to write something about the schedule tomorrow, so check that out. And I'm also doing Twins and Wild stuff over there.
There you go.
Wild Stuff for Hockey Wilderness specifically is the name of the site. And the Twins, Red Hot Twins, 11 in a row. Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa, though, they ran into each other today. So, they both.
Those are like the two worst people to run into each other.
They are the Minnesota Twins are like if the Final Destination movies were a baseball team.
Did the glass in their knees like attract to each other?
Like he's just going back. Carlos Correa is going back, and I'm like, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. And I saw it happen in like slow motion. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like of all the people that could run into each other, it's those two. So I don't know. I'm going to Coors Field in July, so maybe they'll be back in the lineup by then. I don't know, but
alrighty.
Yes, there is that. We should probably get out of here.
Let's get out.
This is the Viking Age podcast. I am Chris Schad at The Real Chris Schad. He is Adam Patrick at Adam Patrick. We do this every week right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We're in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. For Adam Patrick, I am Chris Schad. This has been the Viking Age podcast.